Elul follows of. I have the good fortune to be speaking here in Eretz Yisrael, and I'd like to talk to you a little about Eretz Yisrael and what it means in the Ani L'Daidi V'Daidili. Mevet zugewöhnt. We get used to things. When I walk in the streets in Eretz Yisrael and I see what I see, I'm very aware that it's not normal. It's unusual. If you have the blink, the look, the power to observe what's going on here in Yerushalayim, and you look at it with the eye of Klal Yisrael, there's a tremendous outpouring of Ava from the Rabbi Shalom and from Eretz Yisrael itself. There have not been this many Yidden in Yerushalayim, Ken Yirbu, certainly in thousands of years, in a very long time. Since the days of Rabbeinu HaKadosh, the center of Torah has not been in Eretz Yisrael. The Merkaz HaTorah has not been in Eretz Yisrael from the time of the Tanoim. In the time of the Amoraim, we passed like Shas Bavli, not Shas Yerushalmi. The Merkaz HaTorah was in Bavel. The center of Torah was from Rav and Shmuel and on, was in Surah and Pumbedisa. It was not in Eretz Yisrael. And it never was in Eretz Yisrael till our generation. The Kimitziyei Teitzei Torah, what's happening today in Eretz Yisrael and Yerushalayim, is an incredibly unusual thing in the history of Klal Yisrael. You live here, you walk the streets, you get used to it. But the hergish, the feeling of Ava, a connection to the Rabbi Shalom, should be here when you walk streets of Yerushalayim. You see little Yiddish kinder, Jewish children growing up in Yerushalayim, growing up in numbers such as we have today. It's an outpouring of Ava. Last night, I walked across the street to come here to Yeshiva on Motzai Shabbos. The sounds, even at midnight, of singing Blava Malkis, that were coming, I'm not talking even from yeshivas, I'm talking from homes. The sound of song, of Zemer, of Blava Malka in Yerushalayim, it never was this way. And it's not this way in Chutz La'aretz. Chutz La'aretz, Motzei Shabbos, is a time of running and doing Narishkeiten, doing silly things, running away from Shabbos. It's Yerushalayim, it's the connection of Klal Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, the Ava. If you're not so accustomed to Yerushalayim, if you come here from Chutz La'aretz, you see the Ava that Yerushalayim has to Klal Yisrael, and Klal Yisrael has to Yerushalayim. You could feel it here. The Ani L'Daidi is alive if you stop and appreciate it. There's an incredible maral on Megillas Eicha. Megillas Eicha, as you know, has 5 perakim, 5 chapters. If you remember, the first 4 chapters are in the order of the Aleph Beis. The 5th one is not. Why? And not only that, the 5th parak also has 22 perakim, the same as the number of letters of the Aleph Beis. The first 4 perakim are Seder Aleph Beis, and the 5th parak is not. So the Maral explains as follows. He says the first 4 perakim are connected the 4 aveiros that caused the Churban. The first bias was Gilui Arayah, Shvichas Damim, and Avodah Zarah, 3 aveiros. The bias Sheni was Sinas Chinam. The Maral explains that the 4 chapters are connected, those 4 aveiros. The chapter that has a triple Aleph Beis is connected Sinas Chinam, the whole bias Sheni. They're all about the Churban Beis Hamikdash. The 5th parak of Eicha, Zok the Maral, is connected the loss of Eretz Yisrael. It's connected the fact that the Galinu Me'artzeinu. Zok the Maral. The first 4 prakim are connected the Churban Abayis. There's nothing left from the Beis Hamikdash. It doesn't exist in this world. There's no connection. It's Aleph to Taf. It's Ad Gemar. The Churban was a total Churban. We have no Beis HaMikdash. We don't walk in the Mokem HaMikdash. We daven for the Bayis HaShlishi. It's Aleph through Taf. Zok the Maral, but not so Eretz Yisrael. Golinu me'artzeinu is not Aleph through Taf. It's not Ad Gemar. We can still go back and connect the Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. We can still go back and be yoinik from it, what Eretz Yisrael has to offer. So it's not Aleph to Taf. The beautiful Beis Halevi in the Drashas, I think Drasha Dalid, he talks, the Beis Halevi doesn't usually talk about these things. He talks about the Yachas of Klal Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. What the Beis Halevi says? Beis Halevi says, when you walk in Eretz Yisrael, you should notice that Eretz Yisrael shuts down when Klal Yisrael is not here. Beis Halevi talking. He says there's a relationship between Eretz Yisrael and Klal Yisrael, that when Yidden are not here, it's a desert. Doesn't give forth its produce. No parnasa in Eretz Yisrael. There's not enough water in Eretz Yisrael. When Klal Yisrael is not in Eretz Yisrael shuts down. The Beis Halevi writes that in all the centuries of the Golus, no one ever started a new country in this land. Empires controlled Eretz Yisrael. But no one ever started a new country here. Because Eretz Yisrael is for Klal Yisrael. It's for Bnei Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael, when Klal Yisrael comes back, you walk, you see things growing on the rocks of Yerushalayim, trees, grass, not much, but some grass is growing. It grows, a pella. A pella. Don't realize it. In 1947, the British had commissioned a study. It was the time of the fighting over the immigration of Jews to this land. They commissioned a study as to how many human beings the land could support. How many human beings, the water in the land, the produce that grows in the land, how many human beings could live here? And the conclusion of the study was that this land could support up to 600,000 people. 600,000, that's how much, it's just not enough. B'li Ayin Hara, there's 10 times the amount here. And Baruch Hashem, as far as I see in the stores, there's plenty to eat. The commission wasn't wrong. Beis Halevi says, Eretz Yisrael gives forth Be'ahava to Klal Yisrael. When you didn't come back, the land gives forth. It's a hiskashrus. It's an ani l'daidi. It's an opportunity for Yerushalayim to recognize what's happening here in Yerushalayim. The Kaisel. Red Zugeweit. The Kaisel. The first 10 or 20 years after the 67 war, you'll remember, there were no chairs at the Kaisel. You know that? There were no chairs. People didn't bring chairs there. There was an ema, yira, pachet of the place. People didn't sit down by the Kaisel. There was an ema, there was a pachet, there was a recognition. We haven't been here in so long. These numbers. There was an ema. Zugeweit. But if you go to the Kaisel and you feel, then there's the hiskashrus of Ava to the Rabbi Shalom. There's a kesher, there's a hiskashrus that's meaningful. This Shabbos morning, I walked to the Kaisel for Vasikin with a dozen or a dozen and a half of the young men that are now in Yerushalayim. I'll tell you what I felt. Tired? No. I felt that the Kaisel was so happy to see us. And an Hergish. The Kaisel was so happy to see us. The Kaisel, I walked there in our little group. We had, forgive me if I miss anybody, we had someone from Germany, from Bonn, Germany, right? And someone from Sydney, Australia. And someone from Colombia, which is somewhere in South America, I believe. And a couple of fellas from London. And some people from far places in America, and Calgary, I can't forget Calgary, had its representative. We're just a little group of people. We came. The Kaisel, it was so excited. From 4 continents we were there. The Kaisel is eager to see us. If you feel it, I'm not exaggerating. If you feel it, it's iskashrus. Ani l'doidi v'doidi, you have to take the moment, the Beis Halevi says, to feel it. I want to tell you an incident that happened to me. The expression at the end of this incident is what made a Roshan. Two years ago, I had a bar mitzvah here during the Zman. I came for a bar mitzvah here in Eretz Yisrael. I'm a Spal who comes from Eretz Yisrael. His family is here. He made a bar mitzvah in a hotel up north. So I didn't want to miss Shir in Yeshiva, so I gave Shir Thursday morning. I took the 1:30 flight Thursday to get here Friday morning, Erev Shabbos, and the Motzei Shabbos flight back. So I arranged with a driver to pick me up at the airport. When I landed Friday morning, take me to the Kaisel. I'll spend some time at the Kaisel, and then I'll go up north to where the bar mitzvah is. That was my plan. Lamaisa, the flight was delayed. We sat on the plane for almost 3 hours. We sat on the plane, sitting there for almost 3 hours. A most delightful 3 hours I enjoyed. I had a sefer with me. The phone was off. They came around giving drinks. It was very pleasurable. I sat there strapped in, couldn't go anywhere anyway. And I was able to sit and learn that after 2.5 hours, they announced that they're going to take off. I had to put up my table. So I closed my safe, I put up the table, I turned to the fellow next to me. I told him, that was so delightful. He looks at me, he says, are you nuts or something? He said to me. It was very, very pleasant. It was really a delightful stretch. I enjoy plane rides. No one bothers you, and you could sit. And at any rate, I realized that the 3-hour delay meant instead of landing at 7:30 or 8 in the morning, I would be landing at 10:30 or 11. And I start to have sfeikus about my schedule. So I must have dozed off. I was awakened by Rav Goldvicht. Rav Goldvicht, who teaches in America, but doesn't go 30 days without being in Eretz Yisrael. Tremendous eye of Eretz Yisrael. He's a Talmud of Shlomo Zalman. So he was nice enough to wake me up to davening Mariv. So I told him I have a shayla. This is my shayla. I was planning to land in the morning, go to the Kaisel, daven at the Kaisel, and then go up north. I would have time to learn in the afternoon. I told him now I have to make a choice. If I go to the Kaisel, by the time I get to the hotel, I won't have time to learn. Should I better go to the Kaisel? I could go to Yisrael without visiting the Kaisel, but I won't be able to learn. I'm only Yisrael 2 days without a real Seder. Or should I skip the Kaisel and go up north? I'll get there 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll have a few hours to learn. I didn't know what to do. So Rav Goldvicht said to me, let's daven first. I'll answer you afterwards. Maybe he davened for an answer. But after we davened, he said to me, and I love the expression, he said to me, just like Tfilas Eretz Yisrael is different, so too Teiras Eretz Yisrael is different. So a Hiddur in Torah takes Kedima to a Hiddur in Tefillah. Just like davening at the Kaisel is different, learning in Eretz Yisrael is different. I love the expression. Teiras Eretz Yisrael is different. You sit and learn, you feel it, there's Eskashrus, there's Anila Daidi. To look at the ground in Eretz Yisrael. The earth here in Shimon HaTzadik is sitting for centuries waiting for yeshiva to park itself here to start learning again, like it was once upon a time. Teiras Eretz Yisrael. So you'll forgive me. If you live here in Eretz Yisrael, maybe you have to be reminded about how special, how unique, how unusual a time it is to have a hiskashrus, a feeling of connection to the Rabbi Shalom. A feeling of connection to Eretz Yisrael, Every land has its own malach, and the malach of Eretz Yisrael, Kaviyachal, is the Rabbi Nishala. This kashrus, ani l'daidi v'daidi li in Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim. What's it talk about? Of course. Avada. Appreciate Teiras Eretz Yisrael, Tfilas Eretz Yisrael. Appreciate the things that you have, and there's memela, there's a hiskashrus, memela, there's a connection.